Inside PressBox is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to FriedmontMortgage.com now for all of your mortgage needs. Welcome back to Inside PressBox. The excitement is building in Baltimore as the Ravens approach Game 1 of the playoffs next weekend. Inside PressBox was at the Gridiron Sing-Off earlier this week and heard from some of the fans. Let's hear what they had to say.
What I love about the team is they keep me in suspense to the very last play. I love that about them. Just don't do it in the Super Bowl.
Bit off all my fingernails because of the game. Game was crazy. It was ridiculous. I was like shivering. I was like, oh, just win the damn game.
I was kind of nervous, but I think we pulled it together like we always do. I think we're going to go all the way.
I think Ray Rizzle stomped all over Cincy. That's what I think happened. And I think we're going to continue to. And I think Vontae Leach is the best fullback ever. That's what I think. And I think we're going to run over everyone in the playoffs, and I think we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, baby. That's what's next.
As long as we are consistent, we'll do good. But, you know, Joe Flacco's got to get in the groove and make some good throws to Torrey Smith and Anquan Bolden, and we'll be good.
I think we're going to go all the way. We've got home field advantage, which is always a good thing for the Ravens. And there's a good chance that whoever comes along, we can take them. We've done it before. We can do it again.
Ball so hard. I agree. Ball so hard.
Yeah, they're going to go all the way now. All the way. Because they won against Cincinnati away. It's all home until we play in New England, because New England will probably win. So we'll go to New England and just beat them like we did last year. Or what was it, the year before? Yeah, so we'll go to the Super Bowl, baby. All the way.
All right, we're going to get our predictions a little bit later on in the show, but right now we're talking to Syreeta Hubbard, NFLChick.com, Bill West of the Purple Pride Report, and what is your website called?
PurplePrideSportsShow.com.
Why isn't it called Purple Pride Report, like the radio show?
It's Purple Pride Sports Show now.
Okay, all right. And Bruce Raffel over on the end over there in the purple shirt with BaltimoreBeatdown.com. Before we do a segment, our last segment tonight, we'll get predictions, okay, which is going to be kind of interesting. I noticed that each of you is wearing purple somewhere. Bruce is wearing a purple shirt, Bill West a purple tie, and you're wearing purple pants there, Syreeta.
Yes.
So you're all Ravens fans.
Yes.
All ready for the big day.
All right. The other day, Mike Preston wrote a piece where he basically came out, and he didn't question. He basically stated that the Ravens are much better off, or would be much better off, without Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. Correct?
That's correct. Called him a liability.
Okay.
And
called both of them a liability?
Yes.
Pretty much in the article he wrote there. And, you know, Mike Preston is known to stir the pot and throughout the years, and I disagree. And pretty much, you know, nobody likes the Sun Sports News. That's why we have the press box. You know,
I don't know.
You know,
I don't
but
know.
I
wouldn't go
disagree
that
with
far.
Mike Preston. You know, Mike Preston's a great guy. He's been around town for
Yep.
years. I just don't like the way he writes, and I don't like the way he attacks. And you're 12-4. You're 8-0 at home and 6-0 in the division, and you're going to write headlines that a guy 16 years in the NFL,
Two future Hall of
in
Famers.
13.
Bruce,
Pro
what do you
Bowl.
think?
Well, I think that, you know, a defense is on the field for probably 60, 70 plays, you know, and players are not necessarily judged on what they do. It's what they don't do. And if Ray Lewis misses a play and if Ed Reed misses a play, people call them out. At the same time, the benefit, whether or not they make the tackle or intercept the ball, just being on the field, especially with the defense, just being on the field makes quarterbacks throw the ball at different areas, run different places, and you can be sure that the quarterback and the center, when they line up, they look where the Sam backer is, the Will backer, and the Mike backer, and they make sure that play goes away from Ray Lewis.
All right. How about you, Syreeta? Where do you stand on this?
I respect Mike Preston. I believe that Mike Preston does good work. A lot of times I think that, you know, he likes to stir the pot, like Bill said. But, you know, I don't disagree with him to the degree of maybe you wouldn't do that now in the playoffs, but it is something that you probably have to address. Ray Lewis is a 16-year player, and he is getting a little bit slower. And Ed Reed, we have seen him have bad games like Cincinnati. We saw him whiff a couple plays. So I'm not against looking at it, but these guys are Hall of Famers. That being said, their bodies are slowly getting away from them.
All I question is the timing on his suggestion of this. I don't understand quite. That's kind of like going back to what the Sun papers politically is like. They always find like the way, it's ironic they're called the Sun because they beam down a cloud. I mean, I don't understand the timing of this.
Maybe Mike Preston is a liability for the Sun. Maybe he ought to be the liability, Stan.
All right.
I disagree.
I don't know about that. I actually questioned it 4 weeks ago when Ray was out, questioning whether the defense was better without him. It's ridiculous to be talking about this right now because he's going to be here the rest of this year and until he wants to stop playing.
Right, and nobody's going to ask him to ever come out. Ray has to decide that he is ready. He has earned it, and when he decides that he needs to come out on third down, Ray will do it. You know, some of the tackles they're talking about and missing, Ray might have missed that tackle 4 or 5 years ago. Why bring this up now? You should be focused on, you just won the AFC North Championship. Mike Preston, right about that. Right about the fans in Baltimore.
But I don't think the job of a journalist, though, is to be a cheerleader. I just question the tenor of it. You know, it's one thing to say, hey, has he slowed down? To call them a liability right after the season, I think it's a little harsh.
Well, I think that Mike Preston is doing his job. Right now, we're having a conversation about Mike Preston. So, he's winning right now. I think that's the whole point, to get everybody talking, to say this is an issue or we don't like what he's saying. But this is actually a good dialogue. We're finding out, do we really believe that these guys should be out of the game at this point?
I mean, it's interesting. Last year at this time, we weren't talking about Heap, Mason, Kelly Gregg, and they ended up being let go. You know, some of it's money, some of it's age. We'll continue when we get back. Before we go to break, let's take a look at our photo of the week. The photo of the week is brought to you by Yuengling Lager, a true American classic. Taste the quality that 180 years of family-owned and operated tradition brews into every single bottle. Our Sabina Moran captured these shots of Ray Rice in Cincinnati last weekend as the Ravens beat the Bengals 24-16. Rice scored 2 touchdowns, giving him a season total of 15 that set a Ravens record, and he was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. We'll return momentarily with our panelists and get their predictions for next week's game. PressBox and the Sports Boosters have teamed up with the Zola and Leonard Group of Smith Barney Financial Advisors to present Shoes for Grades, awarding free athletic shoes to high school students who improve their grades by a full letter. Go to PressBoxOnline.com now for more information.